Hello, Kirby World, and welcome back to another edition of Recruiting with Randy here at the World Headquarters in Cleveland, Ohio. You know, I've been talking to a lot of recruiters recently, and one of the questions I'm getting asked a lot is how can I increase my countdowns? Because the countdown business is important both to the recruiter and to the new dealer and to the FD or DT. It's a great retention tool when new dealers sell Kirby's over the weekend. It's a great way to be compensated for you as a recruiter. And of course, it's a great way to retain and start to develop people as we start to get them through our program. So let's talk about 4 reasons why people don't get countdowns. I know when I talk to recruiters a lot, they say they're having a difficulty in getting them. Well, let's identify the problems. What I've always thought is one of the reasons why we don't get countdowns from new recruits is they just don't do enough demos over the weekend. When you're asking a new recruit to do some practice presentations, you should be strong and confident in making sure that they get those on, because it only benefits them. So making sure that they get those countdowns set up should be started earlier in your recruiting class. We always introduce them on Wednesday, on the first day of the orientation, or the front talk and back talk that used to be called. But we always emphasize why it was so important to be able to get some experience with the equipment before they started full-time with the company on Monday or Tuesday of the following week. So making sure when you hand in that practice presentation sheet and they see 10 opportunities to do practice shows, you emphasize you only need 5. That gives them what I call a little psychological air, because now it looks like it's less than what we're asking for the 10. But to get 5 on, they really have to set 7, because you know they're going to lose a couple. But I can promise you, if you have a recruit that does a practice presentation of 5 or more over the weekend, their chances of getting one good positive sale always increases greatly. So make sure you introduce that early enough and you police it Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday so they can continue to get demos set up, because not doing enough demos doesn't benefit them and certainly doesn't benefit you or the distributorship. So the first reason is they just don't get enough. The second reason is they're just in the wrong situations. There's no profit in a poor situation. We are a sales company, and getting a new recruit to understand the type of person they want to market to early helps them continue that as they go out and they start to canvas and prospect for leads and get referrals. So making sure they're in the right home. Take time to explain to them that, we try to show people who best represent our core market group. Customers that are obviously working full time. They're homeowners, husbands and wives together. Maybe they have pets or children. Anything like that that's going to help actually advertise the product and give them a better chance of making a sale. So putting them in the right situation increases their sales and their sales ratio. So make sure you identify that, and when they bring that appointment sheet in for you to review, ask them, so who is Mr. and Mrs. Jones here? Well, that's my aunt and uncle, and she's a beautician, and he works in construction. That's a great appointment. And who's this person? So if you qualify it for them and you make them understand by putting them in a situation that's sellable, they increase their chances on making sales. So not having enough demos and making sure they're in the right situations increases countdowns. The third reason is they're just not properly trained right. And that comes back to us as the recruiters. You really need to spend time on Thursday and Friday making sure that they have an ample amount of time, however much time you're able to give them to work with that product, packing and unpacking, demonstrating how to pull 100 dirt pads, how to do a proper mattress test, how to do a proper kill and setup, how to do a proper shampoo, and how to actually make an offer. Something you should be practicing with is making an offer with all candidates when they do their practice shows, so they can at least get the experience of a customer saying yes or no. And practicing offers is something that should be done in your orientation as you're doing your training. So that's the third thing I would just definitely make sure that you're doing time training them. And the fourth thing is there's really no contact over the weekend. Oftentimes I see recruiters actually just count their dealers down, and then they really don't follow up. They don't follow up. They don't follow up. The one thing you have to do as a recruiter that's key for your success on the weekend would obviously be staying in touch with them over the weekend. Making sure you're calling them on their appointments if they haven't registered. Making sure they're calling in and out. Sending out a text, making a group text for that class on who's doing what. Maybe Mark sold 2 or 3 and Pam sold 1, or someone's done 3 shows and got a lot of referrals. all the positive feedback they need helps them moving forward. And when they see the classes working together as a unit, that gets them to want to be part of it and obviously motivates them a little bit more. So the contact and making sure you're in touch with them over the weekend is key. So those 4 elements, I promise you, if you start to put those into your orientation, are going to help you increase your countdowns. A, make sure they get a quantity of quality demos. Make sure they're in enough presentations that makes it mathematically correct for them to get a potential sale out of the shows they're doing. Make sure they're in the right homes. That's why I said quality and quantity. Make sure they're doing in the right presentations to the right prospects. Make sure you're training them. You don't benefit you or them by shortcutting. And you've heard this expression if you've been in Kirby, shortcuts are pay cuts. Don't shortcut your pay cut by not doing all the things that benefit them and working with the equipment. And then, of course, staying in contact with them. You're the only person that they really have any contact with right now in Kirby until they come back in on Monday and go through the second week orientation with your FD or DT. And that's where I use the analogy is we kind of cut the umbilical cord, we hand them off to the field, and then now you're back doing another class, starting another orientation, and building countdowns again through the next class that's coming in. But when you start to get social proof on people can sell Kirby's over the countdown weekends, that money retains them for the weekend, that builds their confidence up, and actually compensates you as a recruiter. All benefits and all win-win. And then talking about win-win, I do want to mention again the elite recruiting team. And this is something that I keep getting more excited about as I watch the numbers that are coming in. I want to congratulate all the recruiters in the month of June, the top recruiters that had at least 12 or more icebreakers. I think we had 4 or 5 of them that get their first month qualification out of the way to get those 55 icebreakers for the campaign period of June, July, August, and September. But you definitely want to be an elite recruiter. Most of you should have received a letter from me that are full-time recruiters on why the ERT team is going to be so positive and something you definitely want to win. I believe that recognition is really important, and one of the most important positions in Kirby is that of the recruiter. And oftentimes, it's not overlooked, but it's not promoted and maybe appreciated as much as we'd like to think. So we created the ERT team just to benefit you and to benefit the opportunity you have to showcase your ability to your fellow recruiters and, of course, your FD and DT in the Kirby company worldwide. So stay focused on the ERT team. Understand what it takes to win it. Everybody should have one from their FD, their DT, or their DS. The pamphlets out there. If you need one, give me a call here at World Headquarters. My phone number is 216-529-6253, or you can contact me on my cell, 717-887-2039, or an email at rmccreary@kirby.com. But I'm available all the time to talk to any recruiters and help you in any aspects you have of your recruiting program. So until the next time, good luck, keep recruiting, and we are positive. We'll see you at the top.